friends, it's Kim Sparks back from Making Creative Memories in Time. Today I am sharing with you some Fast2Fab Life at the Lake papers. These two heavily decorated papers are Fast2Fab, and this beautiful bright yellow with the vintage fishing lure is from the regular Life at the Lake. And I am using the circle cutting system, using the largest circle. Here I am showing you some of the Gone Fishing embellishments. These are too cute. I will also be using some chipped sapphire and some water. I am using chipped sapphire on my all-purpose mat. I'm putting down a heavy concentration of that ink. Then I will also be adding a lot of water because this is a dark color. This technique is called the packaging technique, and I love it. This is just a piece of cellophane that some adhesive came in, adhesive refills. I'm just going to start working around. I know that I'm going to have two large circles, one at the upper left corner and one at the lower right corner, and I am just working around in what would almost be like a circular or ellipse-like shape. Here you will see me pull in Salvaged Patina. I'm not going to use as much and not nearly as much water for this because this is a light color. And this is, I'm using the same piece of cellophane, didn't even wipe it off. I am going to go along that outside edge and you will see me smear and pat just to deposit some of that lighter blue color. And in just a moment when we're cutting the lake paper, you will see that there's the darker blue and the lighter blue in that paper, and that's what I was trying to mimic in this mixed media base on this white daisy. Here I am using the blue trimmer blade, and it's given me just a little, I haven't used this in a while. And so this is going to cut a 6.5 inch circle, and I'm going to go all the way around on that heavily patterned paper. This back side of the Fast2Fab paper sort of looks like just a lake, just waves or ripples in the lake. There I'm just checking to make sure that the circle did cut freely from the paper. So that will be one of the two circles. I cut a second, but I didn't need you to see me cut a second. Here I am using that fishing lure. I first thought about using this as my green 5x5 square. And then I thought better about it because this had a pattern in it. But you're going to watch me cut this into two 5-inch squares at first. Going to repeat that a second time, showing you I'm going back to 5 inches. And then all of these little pieces I keep. Now, this is the point where I have decided I'm going to use the reverse side of that. The fishing lure is going to be my banner that I use on this page. And I am cutting that at 3.5 by 5, that little excess piece I'm keeping. I can use that on a card or on another page. I'm going back to 3.5 again, cutting a second 3.5 by 5 for a banner. And then you will see me here start to cut the banners. And I need to pay very close attention because one of the banners is going to be coming from the top photo, and it will be pointing to the right. So I want to make sure that I'm cutting my dovetail on the right edge. And that's what I'm doing here. I did not measure that. I wanted it to be somewhat deep, so I just eyeballed it. And I love doing dovetails. I like doing dovetails even with other shapes. And here I'm just sort of dry fitting everything. And then on this banner, I want to make sure in the direction of the lures that my banner is going to be cut on the left edge so that when it tucks under the circle element and photos at the bottom, that it is pointing to the left, going off the left edge of the page. And so here you'll see me just dry fit that. I decided on these photos. First of all, these are photos of my great niece Liliana, who will be turning 4 in September. This was her first fishing trip last spring. Her aunt and uncle on her mother's side took her fishing. And so I cut these photos at 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and I really wanted them to pop off the page. And by creating a 4x4 mat, I had a 1/4 inch that went all the way around on the photos. And I really hope that's going to help them stick up off the page. As I'm working, I'm getting these adhered down, just using the regular tape runner from Creative Memories. I love that tape runner. Tried and true. So here my photos are ready, and now I am ready to start adhering all the pieces to the page. This page has dried. It's not wet anywhere. So now you're going to see me use some removable glue dots. And I typically put one in each corner diagonally, opposite corners, but then you're going to see that because I did put water on this page, I do need a little extra in the other corners. So you're going to watch me when I start trying to place things. I feel like there's just too much lift there. So I'm going to come in, again, these are removable, and I just pick these up at Amazon. You can pick them up at any big box store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, any place that, probably even your office supply stores. And now I'm going to start placing this first 6 1/2 inch circle. I know that some of that is going to get cut off the page, so I'm just eyeballing where I think I want it to go and how much I think I need. Then I am going to put down the green 5x5 mat, and this is going to go opposite angles. It's kind of a little catty corner, and then I'm just dry fitting in that banner. And hopefully here you can see, especially in this shot right here, how the darker and the lighter blues from the Distress Oxide really help give that water feel to the white base of this page. I am adhering down my 5x5 green mat, and then I'm going to alternate the corners here on my photo, get that adhered down, and then we will start working on adding that banner piece. I want to apologize, but not apologize, for the bright sunshine that's coming through the window. I get evening sun at my scrap window, and when I was filming this, the evening sun was happening. Sorry, not sorry. And here you're going to see me fuss with the banner, and then I decide I don't want to waste that extra paper. I'm not going to measure that. I'm just going to eyeball it and cut some off. Don't worry, that scrap can be used on a card or something. Father's Day's coming up, and my dad loves to fish, so that can totally be used on a card. Here I am going to secure the upper banner in place. And then I will be ready to start working on my lower element to the page. I know that there's going to be a little bit of that circle that's going to come off the page. Not as much as the upper circle, so I'm just putting some adhesive down. And we're going to get that put into place. And then this green piece of paper is a 5 high by 9 long. We're going to adhere that, and that green piece of paper is cut from that heavily patterned Fast2Fab Life at the Lake. And there we are getting that secured down. And now we are going to start dry fitting these, which photo I want in which location. And we are just going to start dry fitting these. Looking back on it, I probably should have printed my photos smaller and actually made my photos 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. But I'm happy with the size they are. This is her first time fishing. And I really just want these photos to be the star of the page. So now we're going to adhere all of this. I love how quickly this page is coming together. It's bold, lots of bright colors. Here I am going to just trim that excess off as well. Again, I keep those size scraps because I can use them on cards. I'm going to attach that banner on the bottom, and then I will attach the photo. This is getting to the point of the video, and I intentionally did not speed this next part up or cut any of this out because I want to hear your feedback. When it comes to thinking about embellishing and how I want to embellish for me, this is the hardest part. You're going to see me start pulling out some of these really super cute Gone Fishing embellishments, and I'm going to move them all over this page. Right here, I'm automatically weeding out the ones that I know I'm not going to use, the ones that are not going to fit what I'm doing, the story that I want to tell. And then I am going to just play around and choose different ones. I like that hook, line, and sinker. I like the Gone Fishing. I love the old vintage fishing lures. Here I have decided that I want to use this matte stack card that has this cute little, like what would be considered a lake post sign. And this sign reminds me of like bait and tackle with like an arrow pointing one direction, dock pointing another direction, cabins pointing another direction. So I really wanted to use this, and I'm just fussy cutting. Again, I did not speed any of this up. I want to show this in real time. And when I fussy cut, I like to get all the excess off away from the image that I'm trying to fussy cut. And I usually like to move the paper and not the scissors, but I didn't want this to be real intricate, so you'll see me weave my scissors back and forth around those edges of the board, and that's just sort of to give a little, just mimic the shape of that board. You'll see me do that. And then you will see the utter fussing of where am I going to place things? Which embellishments am I going to use? That, if you are like me and you struggle with placement of embellishment or choosing which embellishments you want to use, leave a comment and tell me that you struggle too. But then when you finally find a home for the embellishments you want, it feels like, oh, I just love the composition. I love the way it came together. Here you're going to see me fiddle with this little sign. I'm going to go all over the place with the sign. I'm going to go all over the place with the bobber. Here's when I make the decision that that hook, line, and sinker is not going to work on this page. And then I end up deciding that sign is going to go down at the bottom for sure. And I am going to cut a little more off the bottom. And you'll see me fuss and cut a little bit more with that. I really wanted it in between the two photos, but it just took up too much space on the back of Liliana's head. And it does end up finding a home in that corner at the edge of that photo and that banner. I do end up getting happy with it. The fishing lures I want to use, I'm going to just lay them here for the moment, but they end up being too large. And I decide I want the Gone Fishing to be my title. I'm going to stick with it up there at the top, and then I pull in that old vintage toolbox or tackle box and net, and I like that layered together to create a title element. Here you are going to see me pull in another matte stack card. I really like this matte stack card. I'm going to use it with the die cut for journal space. Now I am looking over the stickers. First, I think I want to try this little fisherman's hat with the lures on Liliana's head, and I wasn't happy with that. Here I am finding a couple little fish. No, that is fishing lures. It's the same as the die cut, it's just smaller. Here's when I find the fish. And I'm sticking them to my all-purpose mat. They will peel right up when I'm ready to attach them to my page. There's another fish. And I'm just reading over, taking my time, reading over these titles and word phrases to see if there's anything on here I want to use. I end up finding up at the main top of that sticker sheet, "Love you to the lake and back," and I decide I want to use that. I think when I first pull it, oh, that's about the perfect size to go over one of Liliana's photos. And since she's my first great niece, I do love her to the lake and back, and I am going to use that. Here you will see me fidget around and pull in my Big Shot die cut machine. I love this thing. It is ancient. You will see me pull that in, and then I am just going to pull out a tag die from my stash. And what I've decided I want to do is I want to create a journal spot that is going to be hidden, and I'm using a part of this matte stack card and a tag die cut to create a journal spot. And I love this color. Love it. So I am going to pop that out. And on the same die set, there is like a little tab die cut. And you will see me come back. I thought it might fit up there with that cloud. You'll see me come back, and I just add that right here down below where I die cut the tag. I'm going to die cut that because that's going to be a repetition of that same paper. And that's going to sit up at the top of my first photo in the upper left of the page. And that'll be a place I can just document the date. And I will work that in. You'll see that here in a moment. I love all of the interest that is happening on this page. If you like the interest and the way this page is coming together, be sure and like the video, be sure and comment and tell me what you think. So now I'm going to start with it over on that corner because I'm not sure where my title cluster is going to go, but we're getting ready to build that. We're just going to dry fit. I'm liking where those two pieces are looking, and so I'm going to commit to that on the page. And I decide to line that up a little at the top of that banner. I almost started to put some foam adhesive on this Gone Fishing for the title, but I decided, nope, let's just let it be flat on the page. So that gets adhered, and now to make that be part of the cluster element of the title, I'm going to move it over to that edge of the photo. And again, I will just be adding the date. That's what will happen there, is the date will go there. And now we are ready. There's where my tag is going to go. And that will provide some hidden journaling. I'm really happy with that. I am going to commit to my little fish being, and I love that the fish are in the area they are, because that's where there's a lot of that salvaged patina, and the way that the water, it looks like water, basically, where those fish are. And I love, love, love that. Now you're going to see me fidgeting again down here with where this little sign is going to go, and I decide that I am going to use those smaller fishing lure stickers at the base of that sign. And here I am going to attach "Love you to the lake and back" sticker to the bottom of that photo. Too cute, too cute. This page is almost finished, friends. I had so much fun with this one. And now I am going to pull in just some jute twine from my stash. I also get this from Amazon. You can get it from any of the big box stores. And I'm just going to loop up some jute. And the reason that I went with jute as opposed to a solid color baker's twine or a baker's twine that had white in it is I just felt that the jute really had more of the outdoorsy feel to it than like if I used a color. So you're going to see me fuss around until I get the knots that I want and get the fabric tied into the end the way I want it. And here I'm going to just put a knot in the end. And what will happen is when this goes into its forever home, I will slit the forever home page protector, and this tag will actually be sticking out, so it will become an interactive tag on the page. I like to do that, make things as interactive as I can, so that when family members are going back and looking at scrapbooks, they don't have to worry about how am I going to get to the hidden journaling. Here I'm just pulling out some random sizes of those yellow stars from the sticker sheet and just adding one more layer to the embellishment clusters. And I'm doing that in 3 different locations. Not that I'm trying to do a visual triangle, because if you look at this page when it's finished, it's all over the place. I'm just trying to have 3 different clusters to help pull your eye around the page and look at the photos. And so now I'm going to add some up at the top. Love these little stars. They're so cute. Some of them are a little brighter and some of them are a little more soft. I don't know that the camera's picking that up, but super cute. And here I think I'm finished. So I pull my page off of my Versamat and I remove those removable glue dots. They come off really easy off the back of your paper, and they do not stick to your Versamat. My Creative Memories cutting mats are on the way to me, but they haven't gotten here yet. And so now I'm ready to start cutting all of these extra pieces off. And when I flip this page upside down, it's pretty heavy. It wants to fall forward. Here I'm not getting as close as I want, but I am getting the majority of the excess off. You'll see me in just a moment come back to that with the paper trimmer to clean that up really nicely. This edge I'm cutting now, I can get close enough. And then on the other circle that you'll see me cut, the very one little corner that, well, not a corner because it's a circle, but this one sliver of the circle comes off pretty nice and cleanly. And now you're going to see me fuss around just a little with that. I want to start with my scissors, and then I second guess myself and think, no, you want that to be really clean. So I pull my paper trimmer back in, and so that I can see where the edge of my paper is, I pull down that little slot, the little floater that lets you see where your cutting line is going to be on the Creative Memories trimmer. And I trim that, and here it looks like I need to go back in and trim again, but what's actually happened is the green paper is stuck on that mat, the little mat there that the blade runs over. And so now the page is completely trimmed up, ready to go. I think I'm finished with it. And then I look over it and I'm like, no, I feel like I need just a little color, just a little color. So here I'm going to show you that this is going to be a hidden journal spot. And this is going to be where I document. Here's where I think I'm finished. Got ahead of myself. And I'm showing you, and at this moment when I'm showing you what this looks like, I realize I need some more color. So I'm saying, but wait, I need some more color. So I pull out some enamel dots from my stash, and I want to add just a little more green around this page. I felt like there was plenty enough blue, so I didn't want to add blue dots. So I come in and I start putting down in each of the 3 clusters, I'm putting down some green dots. Now I choose at the top to put the green dots in the white space because I felt like they would show up better in the white space over by that tackle box as opposed to over in the blue circle. Here I'm just adding 2 around the fish, which I think are cute because it kind of looks like bubbles coming from the fish. And then you will see me add some at the very bottom down by that little sign area. And that then will finish this page. And I really like the addition of those little green enamel dots. I think it's really cute. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Here's a little close-up look at how this page turned out. And this is another way you can use that really busy Fast2Fab in small doses.